Welcome everyone. Welcome to the chat. Granted, it was impromptu. Did it at the last minute. Was working on other things I had to get ready for the channel. Tried to set up a new type of situation here on the studio. I hope you like it. Let me know what you all think about the round table, the carousel. First time I've ever had one, and was playing with that and had to find out ways to get electricity to this area because I don't have electricity here. The other thing I have that's new is this camera. It's hopefully going to do a lot more autofocus and will be a lot easier for me to show you things without having to monkey around with it like I did with the other one. So, I've been working with that. Plus, on top of it, the wife has been having things regarding the war. It's kind of affected everything and slowed things up. So before I go any further, let me say hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, MR, Steve LaPointe, Niels Hahn Dynasty, Zeffel. I hope I'm saying that right. Ground Fog. My brother was born on Groundhog Day, but okay, Ground Fog. All right. Let's see here. Amy, welcome. MR. And let's see, is that all we got so far? Flying Dutchman. Doug Wagner. Metal Matt. Live from African Savannah. It's the one and only. That is true. Let's see here. Who else do we have? Did I miss anyone? If I missed anyone, please, mods, please say hello to anybody that I missed. Pete Clark, welcome. And I think I got everyone. So tell me what you think. Do you like the new carousel? If you do, put a 1 in the chat. My 9's inside cats. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if you like the new carousel too. If you don't, I just got it out of the box, decided to play with it a little bit and go from there. And let's see here. And how's the camera doing? If you like the camera, put a 3 in the chat. If you don't, put a 4 in the chat. So far the carousel is a winner. So this live stream is to inform you what's going on, and also just to answer any questions and to talk about things that people have on their mind. Okay. As long as we recognize everyone has the right to free speech and we're not mean to each other, anything's open on the table. Don't be rude. Keep to the game that I play. If I say a bad word, a silver dime goes into the curse bowl. If you do, please put a $2 super chat in. If I say the F-bomb, I'll drop a silver dollar or a 1 ounce silver. If you do, I'm going to ask you to drop a 20. So please keep it clean. My grandsons may one day watch this, and I would like for them to be proud of their grandfather and all of you. So I've let Frosty know that I was going to go live. I think he's kind of busy with what he's doing. And if he shows up, great. And if not, I'm certainly willing to allow people to come up on panel to discuss things. Been an interesting time of it. I have been home for a little bit. The current boss gave me extra time. I think he was playing games. And then when he found out I was getting signed up with another hospital, he wanted to give me more shifts. I've actually been catching up on sleep between the travel and the work. It's been, what's the dog world thing? Oh, good question, Zeffel. Dog world. This is my wife's channel. And if I'm not mistaken, she is still doing her live. She's probably at the, near closing. In fact, let me tell her. So everybody that's on her channel, which is Broke Stacker, Robert Pentoff, Ellie, I think Frosty's in there. I think that's where Frosty's at. They're over there. In fact, I can show you briefly what she's up to. Let's see here. Do I have that? Here we go. This is her channel. And she's over there talking right now about dogs and training and breeding. So if you all get a chance to go and subscribe to her, please do. She is an awesome trainer, an awesome breeder, very good person. And for those of you who don't know, she is from Ukraine. So when things go crazy over there, it's really hard on her. And when it's really hard on her, it's really hard on me. So, the war in Ukraine, the things that President Trump has said about Zelensky, the Russian propaganda. My wife has shown me where he's more popular than what Trump says he is. I don't know. I'm not a politician. All I know is that he's trying to keep his people from being killed. My family's over there. He has my support, and I pray that he makes wise decisions. Outside of that, I'm not sure what to make out of it. So let me get over back to my stream. Okay, so what are your feelings on everything that's going on with the interglobal issues? What you think is going to happen? Feel free to let me know. Neil says, what is not propaganda in these years? They supported and grew the Azov battalion. I'm not really sure that they are quite Nazis there. When I've been in Ukraine many, many times, I've never met one Ukrainian or Russian that's a Nazi. I think people use that phrase way too much in current day society, just because I don't like you, so you're a Nazi. Hey, Frosty, if you want to, I can send you a link to come on up. So basically, in my opinion, a lot of people use that phrase Nazi, which basically means I don't like you. So I'm not going to buy this whole Nazi this and Nazi that. Okay. In fact, I remember early on a outgoing message from Arnold Schwarzenegger at the beginning of the war. At the beginning of the war, he would say, listen, Zelensky's Jewish, and these people are Orthodox. No one's here as a Nazi, and that's about as close to the truth as you get. Well, I doubt Frosty's a Nazi. He's way too Irish to be a Nazi. So that was a little funny. But I personally think that this war, the failing economies, the tariffs, the whole global issue that we've got going on here is going to jack up the price. Is going to jack up the price of goods and, well, I shouldn't say goods and services. I didn't mean to say that, of precious metals. So if you have to sell, do what you have to do to keep your bills going, like what I had to do when I had sepsis. But no, honestly, let me see if I can put this in here. Okay, I'll just leave it as a pinned message. That would be a whole lot easier. And when Frosty comes up, if he wants to, Irish and Scottish, when I drink, I fight with myself. I can believe that. I can believe that. But basically, what I wanted to go through here is I want you all to tell me what is in your mind. What do you want to talk about? And while you're thinking about that, I want to tell you what is going on. Some of you may already know, some of you may not, is that Frostbyte and I have joined in a collaboration. We have I'm assuming, Adam, what you're trying to tell me is that you have a zoo of some type and that you're getting a female tiger. At least I hope that's what you're trying to tell me. They're beautiful animals, dangerous as can be, but beautiful animals. But no, honestly, getting back to what I was saying, Frostbyte and I have joined a collaboration called Stack Collector. Hi, David Carlisle, welcome. And we have our plan is to go every Thursday, and one episode will be on his channel, one episode will be on mine, one on his, one on mine. Then what I'm thinking is, oh, thank you, Metal Matt. So basically, the next episode will be on my channel. And I am working with the boss to tell him I do not want to work Thursdays, because on every other Thursday, I want to do a live stream on my channel about whatever topics are going on at that particular time. So all in all, I wanted to let you all know that so that you all can get an idea of what's going to be going on. Thursday works pretty well for me. It allows me to get some other things done. It's a break from having the monotony of a very, very busy emergency room. And basically, if I do every Thursday, you all are going to get used to that. It's going to be a little wonky at first because March is really goofy, because they were starting to get used to the idea of every other Thursday, and then I dropped the bomb on them to do every Thursday, because I want to do a live stream at least once every other Thursday and hang out with all of you, maybe more, depending on what's going on. Hey, Chad Wolf, welcome. So that's what's going to be going on. I'm preparing to get more subjects to go ahead and do here. I'm also planning on getting some people as guests to come on board. I'm not going to tell you who. I'm not sure if they're going to be as big of names as Lynette Zhang, but God, I hope so. That lady is a wealth of knowledge. Oh, speaking of which, look at my tiger gun. Stripes made by Bifrost. Welcome, buddy. I don't know how, but it gave me Stack Collector. I put in a new live stream. How did Stack Collector come up? You'll have to show that to me. I'm just going to make this big and just because this is not Stack Collector live stream. And I don't know how to get rid of it in the background.
We just changed the background image. It's not a big deal.
Something that can be done now or something that can be done later?
Just talk. We'll stay like this. It's good.
Okay. So this was made for me by Bifrost, my adopted niece, Frosty's daughter. And yes, man, it does work. I had so much fun with that. So
she had fun putting it together, dude.
I'm glad she did. I tried to get it here early when I did my interview with Lynette. It didn't get here. And I think it was because of the holiday season and the weather, and everything was getting in the way of getting things done in a timely fashion. But, you know, it turned out all good in the end because episode 2 of my interview with Lynette is when I, you know, debuted the Tiger gun. So, and then episode 3, I did a really neat little magic trick. I don't know if any of you had caught those 3 episodes, but it was a lot of fun interviewing Lynette. It was a lot of fun making the introductions. So there you go. Let's see here. Does anybody have any topics that they want us to cover? Let's see here.
So I'm reading Zephiel's Tiger International Stacker. You need one of those little necklaces that what's his name? Austin Powers wore. It's a little stacking round with a little tiger claw coming out of it to make it look like the man symbol.
I'll have
to. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I have no clue what you're talking about.
What's going on, Steve?
Hey, Steve. Which Steve is here?
Looking for Silver.
Oh, I don't see my screen. Are you simultaneously streaming?
Nope. He's here.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Steve, welcome. You know, Steve, I've been thinking about doing a race on my channel. I've done one once before. Frosty was there with me for it. It went pretty well, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah, it's a fun idea.
So maybe I'll do that on my streams, and you know, when I'm doing every other Thursday. So, you know, just let me know what you think. I'm not going to give out any of the details because if you weren't there, you really enjoy the surprise. Even though Frosty knew what exactly was, when it actually took and transpired, even he started cracking up. Michael Stacking, I'm just lunch. Okay. So let's put that up there. Yeah, David Carlisle doesn't see Steve either. Hey, long live Coins.
What's up, long live?
Sooner or later, he's going to start running his spin and bin. So if we are free from here, then you know, let's raid long lived. I think Wifey has finished her channel. Nope, she's still going at it. So
I don't know if you guys have seen this. There's something in chat.
Oh, thank you, Long Live Coins. He just gifted 5 memberships.
Oh, that's cool. Long live.
Let's see who got them. T-Bird, David Carlisle. I bet you are exhausted, Steve. You always go at it. 3D Woodworks, Michael Kearney, Matt Coins. Congratulations, and thank you, Long Live, for that. I appreciate it. So, in fact, let me go ahead and match up with that.
So, Tiger, I threw something in chat.
Okay.
Or pull the screen up.
I will in a second. I'm trying to get the computer to release 5 memberships, but it's not cooperating. Imagine that. I'll try
It's
that.
a shortcut between the seat and the keyboard.
Can you believe that he's just that way with me?
Oh, I'm this way with everybody.
Okay. Let me see if I change the parameters of the screen.
Or it's that ID10T. Have you ever heard about the ID10T?
Oh, no. I had to change the parameters, and now it will say gift 5 now. Now it's going.
There you go. Have you ever heard about that ID10T error, Tiger?
ID10T. No, and I know that's going to have a hell of a practical joke pun to it.
It's the ID10T interface. So I will do this and let people know. Yep, there you go. Will a
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
That's an old tech support one. We used to talk about, hey, got an IT10T here.
What do you got? How about that?
Oh, what's this end stream button? Power moderators have their privileges.
Oh, you have the ability to end my stream?
I do.
That's so wrong. What did you say, standard moderator?
Yeah, exactly. So pull up. So there's a question in here talking about Fort Knox. Have you guys seen this?
Oh, let me see if you sent me something. Yes, you did.
No, just pull it up. There you go. Yep. So this was sent to me by one of the channel members, Secretary Scott Bessett, Pennsylvania. Congratulations on your confirmation as Secretary Treasurer as discussed. We want to do transparency. Rand Paul says, today I write specifically about the United States Mint and the depository at Fort Knox. I would like to audit it. Right now, it says Fort Knox has not been subject to a formal audit. I want to be clear about what that means. They are not talking about generalized audits. They are talking about public-facing audits. So I want to be very clear when they say there hasn't been a formal audit since 1974. That is a misnomer. So I want to be clear about what that means.
It was 1953 was the real true last audit.
There's been a couple, and each Secretary of the Treasury has had the opportunity to see the gold at Fort Knox. They've done audits. It's just not public-facing audits. Again, you have to maintain certain things that are requirements that are held by the Mint. There are legal requirements and things of that nature. They're talking about public-facing one. But again, it's been 42 years since a civilian has been allowed to enter the gold vault. I'm not arguing that one. Secretary Munchnin, again, they talked about this. It's been quite a while they've been in, but again, it's only been certain secretaries that are there. They want to see it. Oh, and you know what I like about this? This right here, right? This right here. No later than March 19th. So not just, hey, we want to do it. We're giving you a cutoff date. Here is a 30-day window. So please comply. Now, what makes this really important is the person who sent it. And what Paul Rand, as the chairman of the U.S. Committee on Homeland Security, putting this in request, this becomes a big issue. He's saying that he is alleviating the concerns about national security release of information. So there is a lot that is being said in this letter. And again, as stated, this comes from the United States Senate. It's on their letterhead. It's a pretty cool letter. So I want to thank the person who sent me this, but I'm curious to see what's going to happen. But as the person who's the head committee chairman of Homeland Security, they have it pretty good that this will not interfere with the security of our nation, so to speak. So my hunch, and again, this is a hunch. I am not a Senate delegate. I am not an attorney. I am not a political finance advisor. But when you look at this, there's something to be said about they have to know more than they're telling us for something like this to come out in the open.
I'm willing to bet Trump knows everything already.
I'm not saying that. I'm not going to even make that assumption. But I'm sure that there are people there that can say, hey, you know, if it's not there in what we think it is, or there's more than what we think it is, I'm sure that they've already been consulted on this. I'm sure Senate oversight committees and things of that nature have already met. They've already talked about this. There are processes in place. This is normal government business. They have the ear of many people. So I'm pretty sure that they have pretty good insight as to what's going on. But looking at the information here, I look at this and go, huh, interesting. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Will they meet this requirement, or will they do a tentative public release of information? I don't think they're going to open the vault door and let the cameras in. I do not believe that they're going to do that. But I do believe that they will issue something. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of this. But I liked seeing this. It was really cool. Now, is this the first time a letter like this has been issued? No. Formal requests have been made by the Senate, by the House, and by individuals, and they've been turned down each time. So does this guarantee access? It does not. So we want to be very clear about that.
In fact, I'm not within the last 24 hours. I was watching an older clip where Rand Paul had said that his requests have been ignored.
They've been denied quite frequently. Now he's got more information, but what I like about this is there's executive order, or executive level support. There is administrative level support. You've got 2 statements that just were publicly released by previous secretaries of the Treasury saying, we've been there, we've seen it. The previous one had been there, and it's been 8 years ago, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, somewhere in that time frame. I don't remember exactly how long ago. It might have been a little bit sooner, but I can't remember the exact date. Saying that been there, seen it, it's there, right? There's other stuff there as well. And I've said this in when we talked about this on Stack Elector and when we were on Surfer Stream, that there's way more stuff in Fort Knox than just gold. There's a lot of high-end collectibles. Now I'm going to pull my glasses off for just a minute. There's also 12 really freaking cool gold coins.
By the way, for those of you, if you think without the glasses, Frosty is pretty purty, hit a 1 in the chat. If you don't, and you want his glasses back on, hit a 2.
Everybody hit 2, please. I don't do this for looks. I do it because my eyes get buggy. Every once in a while, I have to take them off.
With you.
Yeah. Oh, my face broke out. I've been scratching my face today. Yeah, thank you. All right, the 2s have it. Oh, you know what? From the StreamYard side, I can't remove Chad's comment. There you go, David. 1.5. I can either confirm or deny that. Yeah. So, but anyway, I thought this was really cool to be able to see this, to be able to get this information. Again, they've been denied before. This is not the first time that people have requested information like this and been requested access to this. Again, the only thing that I like about this is, again, looking at his position as a person in Homeland Security and having executive support. This is definitely something that looks like it's going to, I think it's going to happen. There's enough pressure that if it doesn't, the media is going to go, what gives? and I think it's going to cause more concerns than it has in the past. In the past, the requests have not necessarily been made as public as they have this time. And you'd be interested, or you'd be amazed at what happens to sway things when public opinion supports one or two ends of the checks and balances system of the judicial, legislative, and executive branches. So if you have legislative and executive there, the Supreme Court comes in and says, "Hey, we feel it's in the best interest." Things are going to happen. So we'll see. I'm definitely interested to see what's going to happen. But anyway, fun stuff.
It is. Personally, I think that, and I said this before, that we need to have a spreadsheet accountability of the physical accountability, because we don't know if that money has been just put in there to pass a stress test like banks have done, or, did we actually own it? Did they owe us money that we gave them gold in the past and that's actually ours? Do they owe us money for other things and they're actually paying us back in gold? Is this new to us? Is it old to us? We don't know. So I really think that, the books as well as the physical have to be audited simultaneously. So, that's my take on it. But I really think that just walking in and saying, "Yeah, we got the gold," is probably not good enough.
So the question, there's probably more to it. And I am not tracking this as closely as I probably should for these discussions. So I pulled a couple of things up just because I was trying to look at something for the last stack elector discussion. But we're not the only nation that's getting bucket loads of gold from London right now. Remember that the London Bullion Exchange, that the London Bullion Market Exchange, the LBME or the LBMA or whatever that acronym is, which is basically the bullion market, the center, the head of it, which is in London, has sent tons of gold to different nations, not just the U.S. So looking at some of them, there has been some to Poland in recent years, or in recent months. There has been, let's see, United States has gotten some, sell in part to the UK. They did the investigation, found that there were some duplicate serial numbers on some of the bars. I think that there's a lot of places. There's been over 100 tons of gold within the last 6 months that went to India's central bank. Are these banks doing what you're talking about, stress testing, where they're going in and they're doing audits and they're seeing what's happening with the gold movements in China and India and Russia? Are they looking at this and going back and saying, "Hey, we want to look at this and actually understand how much gold is actually there and kind of report on something because we have additional information"? I don't know. I'm going to turn my sound up a little bit because I just noticed that the sound was way down, so this should be better. I think there's going to be some answering that's going to happen if this gold is bouncing from country to country to country to country in order to pass financial stress tests. We're never going to have a really good, accurate assessment of where we're at in relation to gold. So I'm curious to see where this goes, and if we could track that 4 billion pounds of gold that was sent to Poland, 5 years ago. Where did that money go? Do they still have it, or has it shifted? 6 months ago, they sent over 100 tons of gold to India. Where's that gold? Is it still in India, or is it transferred? Massive news and notifications of the fake gold that has been identified in China that has been right. So there are tons and tons and tons of reports of gold and shifting and moving and fakes and counterfeits and stuff like this. So And again, remember when we're talking about China, there's a saying in China, and I'm not saying this to be whatever. It's just a statement in China that the only thing in China that's not fake is your mom. Okay.
Is your
Basically,
mom?
is your mom, meaning that everything that you get, whether it be clothing, whether it be food, whether it be whatever, is fake. There's such a problem with counterfeiting in China that a thing within China, the locals, one thing that they state is the only thing that's not fake in China is your mom. So when you look at
You
some
know what
of
that
the
means
stuff,
then between the potential stress tests and the faking. There's going to have to be a serious come to Jesus meeting, and especially they're going to have to seriously sit down over breakfast.
I don't have mine here, or do I? Let me see. I have mine. I was going through some stuff, moving some stuff around, and I don't have it with me. I think I put it away. I should have had it with me. But normally I keep something here, but it's not here.
Just for those of you who don't know, Frosty ended up buying this for me. I bought one for him. It's kind of fun, so we'll sometimes have breakfast together.
Yes, Frosty and the Flake.
Come
Come on, that was there for the taking. That was there for the taking. Tiger. Yeah, we saw that in Frosty and Tiger, but come on, dude, that was there for the taking. That was too easy. That was just too easy.
Oh.
They're great. That's correct. So Chad Wolfen, Hagensteifen, Brindis Hasenbraf for Dauf. Even though the gold really at their point, could they take it and open up the vaults? Say it's gone to watch the numbers skyrocket. So Tiger and I were talking, and I don't want to give away too much information because I'm creating a video on something that is exactly that. And what happened in 1896 or 1869, excuse me, 1869.
One moment. Thank you, baby, for the $3 super sticker. By the way, of those of you who haven't heard me earlier, please go see Dog World and You, especially if you like dogs. She's good at what she does. She's excellent at what she does. She's a good teacher, a good trainer. And, if you're looking for a well-bred dog, a well-trained dog, she's your girl.
So let's clear that up a little bit. He said that a little bit incorrectly. If you're looking to get one, not if you're looking for one. Okay.
Are you saying I didn't say something semantically credible enough?
Well, yeah, you basically called your wife a dog. So
I never called my wife a dog.
Let's clear that up.
I think you've seen
you
her.
can't be searching for
She's far from a dog.
Oh no, I've seen your wife. I've seen your wife. My volume keeps auto adjusting. That's crazy. I wonder why. I wonder if it's a setting in here. It keeps coming.
It's God's way for you calling me a flake.
Oh, it's true. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. There we go. Now we got some adjustment.
Practical joker, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Dog World's like, that's not funny, Frosty. You know I love you. I'm just kidding. I only pick on people I like. This is why you don't see me pick on people like Steve LaPointe. He is my most hated member.
Let me see that tongue again.
No.
Because I think I saw some thrush in there.
I did use my inhaler. I haven't cleaned it.
Oh, that'll add to it.
Yeah. Oh, need to go. The puppies need me. See you later. Bye-bye.
I'm back.
So, Fort Lauderdale Beach. That's a good place to be, Azure. Have one for me. Too much fun. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great time. Be safe. And if you drink too much, lose your keys, please. Yep. Go take care of those pups. Thanks for popping in. Good to see you.
Thank you, baby. Okay. So back to the topic of Fort Knox.
So we were talking about the comment was stated that watch the vault be empty and the prices are going to skyrocket. That's not going to happen, Chad. And the reason that I say that is because we've experienced that at two different points. And each time that something like that happened, we ran across a major panic that caused um, major influxes in buying and selling of the precious metal, which turned around and um, hurt us, right? Like almost crippled our country. I'm going to be doing a video on that. If you guys know, I'm doing the commemorative coin series, and here in a couple of weeks, I'll be dropping one on Ulysses S. Grant
Well,
and some of the stuff that happened during Grant's time frame and tenure, not only as a general, but when he became president. There's a lot revolving around gold and silver in his tenure, stock market manipulation, things like that, where he's been accused of malfeasance. But when you look at the history, he just surrounded himself with some people who made a bunch of bad choices. And so we're going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about some decisions that he made to try to protect some things. And it actually ended up showing two things. It showed the corruption within the system, which kind of we're back to where we are. We're back to that general area. However, when he did what he did, it crushed gold and led to decisions that would be made within the next 20 to 30 years. And then more than 60 years later, we would end up in the Great Depression. So it started a chain reaction of events that caused our economy to plummet. Now, we were way more stable then. And so we look at the situation we are in now and go, all of that would escalate.
More stable at a time when we were only tariffs.
Well, so not only. Okay, that's
we had some taxes under Lincoln because of the war. They needed extra money for the war effort, but those were removed later. I did a video on that.
So, yeah. So Zardos kicked me out of here. What do you mean kick you out of here? When you look at taxes and debt during the time frames, anytime you have a national war, we're looking to. I hope it's a depression, Steve. I hope
that would be good.
Yeah, that would be way better than the hyperinflation that is as a consideration. Because if that happens, it's not going to be long before we end up in a really bad spot. But if we look at the situation, we talked about that the other day, Tiger and I, Steve. When you look at what happened with Abe Lincoln, and then you had Ulysses S. Grant coming in 4 years after the end of the Civil War and trying to rebuild, and some of the issues that happened within that time frame, we were fairly, and I say fairly, stable as an economy. We were still riling through some issues, and we were still dealing. We had good stores. They were still working on gold and silver standards, and there were still companies and parties that didn't want the standard to be there. They wanted the standard to be there. I mean, there was that standard argument, for lack of a better pun. The situation is different today because we're in a much more delicate balance because
hold on. Fine.
Just mute for a minute, Tiger.
Hold on.
All right. They've probably taken one of the dogs out. One of the concerns about the hyperinflation is the things that happened then had quick impact. unfortunately, one of the issues is that things happen so much faster now. But back then, while we had influx or influence on the world economy, we weren't the backing of the world. And so there's a totally different level of outcomes that's going to happen should we find out that there's not the gold there, and assuming assuming that everything is where it needs to be. If it's not, the financial ramifications could be catastrophic. So
Honestly, I think because historically, war always is affiliated with bad economy. And if they see that we are financially not strong, they're not going to have faith in the world reserve currency being our dollar. That's all going to flood back. Our adversaries are going to try to take over as a world reserve currency, in my opinion. Physical war will take over because they don't think we'll be strong enough to maintain ourselves, all because they don't see us as having the gold that we're supposed to have. That's my take on it, but that's just me watching what history's done.
So, Steve, I don't totally agree with you. I do see part of it. Currently, the egg shortage is due to high influenza, avian flu rates. They've continued to stop the issue, but USDA has pulled a lot of that because of basically bird flu. They had to kill over 13 million animals because of this. So there's definitely issues there. Now, is that the only reason? No, I believe there are other reasons, but I don't think it's just because there's a market manipulation for hyperinflation. There are actual reasons why that happened. There was a release done. I don't remember what news agency. I want to say it was CBS or CN. It wasn't CNBC because I don't watch CNBC. It might have been BBC. I can't remember which one of that. But one of those talked about the whole craziness with the USDA having to cut 13.2 million egg-laying heads out of commission because of that item. Most likely it's avian flu doesn't happen. Avian flu is just bird flu. That it happens. It's been around for years. I don't think that's made in a lab. Could they use it to weaponize it? I mean, they take anything to potentially do that. And sometimes looking for a cure for things, they create that. So, Zaphael, I'm not saying that they meant that they needed to. I'm just telling you what the purpose was or why they did that. So again, and that might be, but it doesn't have anything to do with the manipulation of the standard because, I mean, again, it is what it is. So eggs are the least of our worries. There's way more things out there, but I wouldn't say.
My personal belief is if you're worried about the price of eggs and you don't have ordinances that restrict you, and if you're a two-person family, a husband and a wife, you need 6 chickens. Okay? You don't even need the rooster, just 6 chickens, and you will have the eggs that you want for an entire year. You might want to also try to make yourselves friends with a farmer so that you can get the feed for them that you need. The chickens have been free ranging recently, and I've noticed a serious drop off in the number of eggs that are ever produced. So I'm planning on going back to Tractor Supply and buying some supplies because I like eggs, and it's cheaper to buy the feed for the chickens than it is to go ahead and go buy eggs at the grocery store, way cheaper.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying why. I'm not saying why they killed all those chickens or why they culled them. If that was absolutely necessary, I don't. I'm not a veterinarian. I don't know these things. It's not on my bucket list to even learn that. But I'm just telling you that that's why is the killing of these 13 million chickens. But we've had issues, and we'll have as we continue to try to protect from disease, we create new ones or we make other ones stronger because of mutations that happen because we're trying to fix and prevent certain things from happening. So in our desire to try to correct and control that, we actually can cause bigger and more deadly diseases, not just within the livestock, I mean, within our own. So we've got to be very careful with that. And we've seen some of this with the development of, Amy, you were talking about weaponized items. God forbid something happened in a lab somewhere. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Recent events. Yeah, who knows? Who knows, right? So I'm not going into the conspiracy theory thing, but there's been too many documented cases of potential issues. Is this bird thing part of it? I don't think so. Did they need to do it? I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't have the answers to that.
Yeah, but honestly, for just on the topic of just eggs, I'm not going to get in conspiracy theories because I don't think
you love them.
I don't think I love them. I love mysteries.
Yeah, you love them.
I love mysteries.
You love them.
Conspiracy theory, by definition, is a mystery. I love mysteries. So basically, if honestly, I would love to be home more than what I am, and the way I can do more to help out the wife. But chickens, they pretty much take care of themselves. The rabbits, for the most part, except you got to deal with the poop. Quails, almost the same thing, although they tend to be more vicious and like to kill each other if they get mad at each other. And I don't have the time to do a good garden. So I'm praying that in this whole process, my in-laws that are over in Ukraine come here, one of which allegedly has a green thumb, and we'll all pull forces together to turn my backyard into a little farm that will feed all of us, and that type of thing. But if you don't have a whole lot of space and you want to work and you're going to worry about what you have to eat, I'm a firm believer in chickens and then rabbits in a garden at barest minimum. And we've made a lot of bunnies. A lot of people say, why do you need so much bunnies? Well, under SHTF, if the food shortage goes completely, the dog food shortage is going to go completely also. Hey, Ringmaster Ray, welcome. So, honestly, I want a crap load of bunny meat, because if we have a serious short supply, we're not only going to be eating the bunnies, but the dogs are going to be eating the bunnies. And I'm going to take advantage of their high reproduction potential so that I can load up all my freezers. So just a little food for thought. If you got, additional people, additional animals that you don't want to perish, or nor do you want to, let me put it this way. Hey, Frosty, have you read the new Korean cookbook? 101 Ways to Walk Your Dog.
Ba-dum-bum.
None of us really want to be eating our dogs. So bunnies, bunnies, bunnies.
Yeah, see, unfortunately, the area that I live in, I'm like you, Steve. Now we can have some stuff, but the area that I'm in, my HOA won't allow us to have that kind of stuff. I have a small garden. We grow herbs and stuff like that. But the place where we're nice is we're against the green belt, so we can go back the gate and go down into some wooded areas, and there's all sorts of deer and stuff that walk around our area. But if anything like that was to happen, you think those deer are still going to be there?
No,
Hell
they're
no.
going to be like the iguanas in Venezuela, extinct.
Yeah, they're going to disappear, and it's going to happen fast. So you need to have other sources, even if you have chickens and stuff like that. You're going to have them under lock and key because people will come with cutters and they'll be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Some amazing things are going to happen. So you need to have other resources and stores. You're better to have some long-term food storage items than you are some of the live animals because, a pet's only a pet until you're hungry.
Walk your dog.
Yeah. So and I don't say that to be ignorant or facetious. It's, there are some countries they don't own pets. They just raise their meals. So is what it is, unfortunately. If you're a farmer, it's a different story. But even again, when it gets really bad, and it won't take very long. 3 days to chaos or something like that.
Sure.
When it gets really bad, it's going to start in the heaviest populated areas and work out.
Yeah, because they don't have the
Yeah.
farmland to grow their own stuff. They rely upon supplies being imported into the area, and they nor do they have the skill sets because they never did it. So you're right, the inner cities are going to go crazy first and then move out. And me personally, I used to buy a lot of stuff from Emergency Essentials. Now I buy it from Four Patriots, and I think they're better meals. I think they're better packaged, and they last 25 years. I also have, in fact, I showed it to you all on Surfer's channel, where I had 2 bags that are 72-hour bags. I bought them from 2 separate companies because I wasn't happy with either one. And one was a red bag, one was a black bag. One of them has more stuff than food. One of them has more food than stuff. And then I had a third bag, which was a medical bag. So, because you never know when you're going to get injured. So, and I'm personally, I'm not as rich as Lynette Zhang. I can't bug out. I don't have a bug out home. A lot of us don't. Besides, bugging out just to live out in the wilderness is more dangerous than bugging in. So our first and best option is to bug in. So make your home your fortress. And make sure that you have more than this stuff. Because when our society breaks down, this won't be the most precious metal, nor will gold. It'll be lead.
Yep.
And I will divest anyone. I'll invest anyone who tries to hurt my family. I'll invest them with as much lead as possible.
There's really no such thing as bugging out. I live in the country, but society is everywhere. Yeah, that's true, Zaphael. It's if you can get out in the quote unquote boonies, it's just a matter of time, right? The problem is if people want in, they're getting in. And people will try and try and try and try and try. And they'll learn and they'll adapt and they'll find ways. So understanding and protecting yourself, setting up a good perimeter, understanding what's happening, know your situations, know your surroundings. and build community, stay close to the community. It's going to be important. Yeah, exactly. Right. Know how to use it. Don't just have it. You got to be able to use it. So those are definite. Those are definite important. But yeah, I still think one of the best things that you can stack is knowledge. Know how to do things, right? Learn how to farm, learn how to clean an animal, learn how to save water, conserve water. Um, know what types of disposable items are good for filtering. There are some of those items that you want to do. So look for those types of things and understand those types of things. And I've got, learn how to make a fire without using propane and matches and stuff like that. So there are some old schools that I think everybody should learn how to do. I think, we should be teaching those to our kids because those are going to become essential skills. Um, especially like right now, this morning, I walked outside of my house. I live in Texas. I walked outside of my house. The wind chill this morning was like 4 to 6 degrees. If gas is out and heat's off, you got to stay warm somehow. If you don't have any power, how are you going to light that? So you're going to have to know how to make a fire. You're going to have to know how to get stuff. You're going to know, strip the bark off of certain trees because the bark smokes like crazy. If you're trying to light signal, or you're trying to signal somebody or do something like that, then that's great. But you don't want to have that if you're trying to light a fire inside your house. You don't want massive amounts of smoke. So there are certain things that you just need to understand and look at. What if you have to go cut down a tree? What's the best one for drying quickly? So there's a lot to understand, and again, you practice it. Once you really know it, if you just practice it every couple times a year, you'll be able to maintain a fairly sharp level of skill. And that goes with anything. The more you practice it, the more you do it, the better you become at it, the more proficient you become. I think it's going to be extremely important to have a skill-based understanding of basic things. And those people who are good at woodworking, and those people who are good at stonework, and those people who are good at being able to know how to fill their own rounds and know how to pour lead and do how that kind of stuff. How to create an old forge using brick and mud, right? So the people who know how to do that are going to be the most successful in a long-term SHTF situation. So I think it's important to know those things. I have so many cans of mixed fruits. Oh, I got a question for you, Zaphael. Are any of them peaches? And if they are, do you stack? I have a hypothesis on peaches and stackers. And if you've ever seen my hoard videos, you'd understand why. You still there, Tiger?
I am. Hold on.
Okay, no problem. I figured you had stepped away.
Go get something to prove a point. I'm back.
Stacker Man's rabbit hole. Living in Michigan, I heat a lot with wood. Problem is, as I get older, much slower each year getting stacking wood. Yeah. So again, this is where, that's a good book. The other one that I have, I don't know where it's at.
This is what I want built on both sides of my house.
Water conservation.
Yeah, and talking to my handyman, who's way handier than I am, obviously, to build a tower on each side to collect rainwater, and it will filter. It'll come in through the top one, all the way down to the bottom, and then start filling back up, and then you can tap from the bottom. Okay, I've just recently bought at the pawn shop a really old but really sturdy dolly to carry 55-gallon drums of water. So if I need to move them, I won't have to work so hard to get them out there. But this is a really good book. If you want to, and you have no heat anymore, but you want hot water, and then there's somewhere in here how to make your own shower. I think this is the one about the shower. So this book will help you out with a lot of things there. including if you have a wall, like I have a wall, and you want to add some additional spots for growing food. I mean, it's you can't beat good knowledge that you don't already know.
So I want you to key into a comment that Michael Stacking made, if you will.
What's
Says
that?
Frostbyte, there are plans to start protests in all the state capitals and at the Capitol March 8th. Can you send me some information on that so that I can understand what's going on? I would like to see what the sources are for that and what kind of things that they're protesting. Be interesting to see what's going on. I'd like to find out some information on that.
Yeah. And my suggestion is, if you do a good bit of traveling, or your wife does, or whoever, have a 72-hour pack in your vehicle. So you have food, you have a knife, you have some sort of wire for cutting things. Have a 72-hour pack in every one of your vehicles, especially as things are getting more and more complicated. I want to show you another thing I got. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, so Michael Stacking, if you'll email me, you have my email. It'd be really interested. Stacker Man's Rabbit Hole, cut a ton of wood. Yes, it's harder. Now there are things about community, right? This is where it's important to connect with people and start teaching people other skills. So if you have the capability, Stacker Man's Rabbit Hole, and I don't know the situation, I don't know where you're at or your age or things of that nature. But if you look at starting to teach people in your area, teach kids, if you have neighborhood kids and stuff like that, pay them $10 to cut down and split into quarters, a quart of firewood, and you'll find that as you can do that, you can impart wisdom. So again, if we continue to try to do things alone in certain situations, and I don't know your situation, so I can't speak to it, but if we try to do things, I do it all the time. You'd be amazed at some of the stuff I have because I invest in some of the kids around here and give them coins periodically and talk about stuff. And if they want to have a coin from their birth year, I give them little jobs. I talk to their parents and say, hey, I've got one girl who comes over and she wants to walk our youngest dog. She does it. She gets $20 a month to walk the dog. It gets her out, gets her exercising. And she's always talking about stuff, and we talk about different things. And she's gotten a number of coins, and she does a lot of cool little stuff. Had to be able to. I got it. But you can do this. Not everybody has that opportunity, and not everybody knows their neighbors. I do have other people in the neighborhood that they think I'm weird because I, like teaching people about coins and stuff. They're like, it's creepy. It's teaching kids money. Granted, you teach them how to use a credit card. You better teach them how to balance their budget. If you're not teaching them that, then you're not giving them proper lessons.
True.
But yeah, so again, I don't know your situation, but there are always ways to try to do that. The other thing is I don't know what your religious preferences are, if they are, is to work with your local church and get the youth engaged. That's something that even from when I was a kid, we always had people where our youth pastors and stuff at the church that I go to now, which is up 2 miles from my home, they have youth programs. And if you need help, then you can reach out to them and do stuff like that. So a lot of kids don't do it, but there are kids that do, and those kids are they're teachable, and they want to make a few bucks. So there's always opportunities if you have the likelihood. I don't know your situation or if you have the opportunity to do so. And a lot of people, it's like, I'm not religious. That's fine. These are just potential options because sometimes you have to think outside of the box to be able to accomplish certain tasks. So there are a lot of people that are completely different, Chad. You're absolutely right. But I think if we just say, and I think this is a problem with our society now, I think that if we just say, well, that's the way it is, things will never change. We'll never be able
They'll
to change.
never get better.
If you want things to change, you actually have to do stuff.
Well, you can say
you have
that
to get out there and
a
make
lot
it.
of us are different, but not really. We all need food. We all need water. We all need to have friends and family and a loved one in our lives. We all need to be safe and healthy. So, I mean, are you familiar with what this is, Kelly Kettle?
I have a kettle.
Do you have you know what a Kelly Kettle is?
No.
Okay. I bought this a number of years ago. Okay. Now it has two linings. This one out here and inside. And you pour water into this. Okay. And then you set it on this. Okay. And you put your fuel in here, which could be anything in your backyard, wherever you're camping. Put it in there. Now, I did buy some stuff to start it with, but you can put, all sorts of things, twigs, leaves, anything in there. The fire comes out the top, and you just take this off, let the water boil. The water gets hot. It's now sterile. You can drink it, whether you want to put it in, make a coffee, you want to cool it down to go ahead and have cool water later. You've gotten rid of the bacteria and the viruses. It also comes with, let me take this off here so everything stays in screen. Comes with something that you can put on the top. There's another gizmo in here, but there's something that holds it up so let the fumes come out the sides. And you can cook off of this. It also has a bigger one that you can make a little stew, a little soup out of. So there are things out there to even if you're bugging in, your power's out, and you're like, oh my gosh, how are we going to heat our food? There are things out there like the Kelly Kettle, and you don't have to buy fuel. You just go out in the backyard and scrounge up what you got, and then go ahead and put it in there. And when you're done, because you've not created that much of a heat source, so you're not created that much of smoke, you go ahead, pour it out, stamp on it, it's done, it's over with. Very little chance someone's going to see that you actually have something over there that they might want to steal from you. A little food for thought.
Yeah, I like my kettle in the 5-inch, 6-inch log, where you split the log in 4, about halfway through, and then you put shims in each section, bore out the center, light your fire in it, drill a hole into the side, and then you basically create that as an air intake, and you basically do the same with just a log.
Mm-hmm.
Burn for 3 or 4 hours, 6 hours if it's a big one, and does the same basic thing, and it burns itself out. But yeah, so they're pretty cool.
Well, anything that will allow you to feed and hydrate yourself and your family doesn't bring as much attention to yourself, that type of thing. I will tell you that most recently we've had a couple really horrible ice and snowstorms, and they hit us hard. A lot of the power in West Virginia went out, and my house is 100% electric, 100% electric. And the wife was a little freaked out about what was going to happen next until, I don't know, 9, 10, 12 seconds later, the generator kicked in. And then she was totally comfortable knowing that we had enough electricity to, have the essentials in the house. It's really comforting to know that as the man of the house, that I've been able to take a lot of her anxiety and throw it into the trash can. It's nice to know that you're able to provide for your family. But while she was feeling totally comfortable, I was at a new level of what happens if they cut off the natural gas. Then I'm in the same boat as everybody else, which is why I really want to move towards solar. So just a little extra food for thought.
Yeah, Steve, a very good point. Always have a little shovel on hand. Little shovel, a hatchet, a machete, duct tape. Right, like those are some of the things that you'd be amazed what you can do with just a couple items. Um, what's funny is doing some survival training. They had all sorts of stuff out there, and people were taking the machetes and stuff. And I grabbed the duct tape, and or I grabbed like fishing line, a small thing of twine line, and an alarm clock. And they started laughing at me, and the instructor was like, "It's a good choice. You can fish from it. You can make stuff." So watch videos on how to make stuff from random household items and kind of just figure out some of the things that are important to keep. A small little shovel is a really good idea. A small little hatchet, sharpening stones, right? Some of those little things are just good to have. So when you're stacking, it's important to stack food and water, absolutely, but also stack some general use tools that you're going to need to be able to do that. So great point.
Another way to get water, as long as you have electricity, another way to get water is not only just rainwater, because that might not always be there, maybe you use it up, but also, has anyone ever thought about using a dehumidifier?
If you have electricity, my mom uses one. She just stepped in here. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
So you can, but you have to have a significant amount of electricity. And if you're looking at minimum levels of electricity, they're probably more important uses of your time than a dehumidifier.
Well, that might be entirely true, but I will tell you that my basement is usually moist, and so I have to run a few of them just to maintain the ability to not get that wet, cold air. And it's nice to have because in theory you can go ahead and use that to hydrate yourself, especially if you have a Berkey or any other form of filtration. So just put it in the Berkey. It cleans it up really well. It's now really good to use. Now granted, like you said, and like I said, it only lasts as long as your electricity lasts. So that's one of the reasons I want to try to get solar as my first line of backup, and the generator is my second line of backup.
Well, yeah, that's exactly where I was going. So living in South Texas, humidity is a little bit whatever, but we're not doing a great deal here. It's not like living in West Virginia or even Houston, where you have high index, or Oregon, where my mom is, where the high humidity is through the roof. But there are other things that you can do to collect moisture from the air. And that's doing things like sticking, if it's cooler outside, it works even better. But take like an old copper pot or an old steel pot, and stick it to where it stands up. You have to mount it from the bottom somehow, over a collection piece. And then as the moisture condenses on the item, because the humidity in the air, it'll drip into your collection device. It doesn't collect a lot, but you can do that too. You can also do one if you have solar powered ones, where you create a tilt box with a glass top, and then you can place the dark surface on the area to absorb heat from the sun. And as it cools, moisture will develop on that and go down the dew. Yeah, it'll actually go down into your collection device. So there's various things that you can do that don't require any kind of electricity. Anything that I'm looking for an SHTF situation, I am not looking at having gas, water, or anything like that. So try to come up with elements and items that allow you to, granted, dehumidifier is great, but make sure if you're going to do that, remove things like, the tubing, and you're going to have to make sure that your tubing stays clean, because you can have your tubing and then have it full of bacteria and mold, and
Mhm.
now it's no good to you at all. So you've got to
The reason
maintain those
I
things if you're
mentioned the
going to have
filtration
them.
system,
Say again?
which is the reason I mentioned the filtration system.
I understand, but even filtration systems in a situation where you're not utilizing them go bad. So if you're going to be doing that, find ways. So it's really nice for matters of convenience to have things like a dehumidifier. And in a situation where you're out for a few days or whatnot, yeah, it might be okay. But a dehumidifier in long term is probably not going to be a very good solution, because eventually you're going to run out of fuel. So what do you have when you don't have that? You utilize the knowledge you have to identify methods and manners in which you can collect it. So a piece of glass, or you put the back, you cover the back of it, you paint it, find black. It's best if you can find something like pitch or tar. Put it on the back of it where it's going to get hot in the heat of the sun. You set it out there, and then you put your water connection tube or whatever it is at the lower end of it. So as it cools, that dew condenses on that glass, and it'll run down the glass and collect it. The important thing with that is it's not collecting tons of water, but it'll give you enough to maybe give you your, 4, 5, 6, 8 ounces or something, to at least just to stay hydrated. It's not going to do anything for an entire family, but if you're in need of just a little bit of water, it might be able to help you. Cold frame water collection system, another great idea, will A2. So when you're thinking about putting stuff together for your SHF situation, look at items that require no external power, gas, natural gas, electricity, anything like that. Then you're truly going to be better prepared. Because like I said, if it's long-term, you're in trouble.
Understood.
Not to say you're giving bad advice, Tiger. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking very,
No,
very long-term.
I realize that I'm not as much of an Eagle Scout as you are, but
I wasn't an Eagle Scout at all.
that was an analogy. I didn't even know if you were.
Where I got a lot of my information is as people started talking stuff. So Tiger, you and I talk about this. Okay, so let's take our current situations as far as stacking and collecting. I stack, but my stack is small. What's my primary reason for that?
I think the biggest thing is that you love your numismatism, and on top of that, on the other side of the coin, you think that people will buy the rarities from you at buku prices, so that it will replenish the finances for your family.
Okay, so that's part of it. The rarities will not sell as well as other items in an SHTF situation. What I am talking about though is I'm talking about the reason I don't stack massive, because income, like just income. So how do I do things to supplement my income? Well, I like knowledge. I like to research. I like to understand how things work. If I'm going to do something, I need to understand the why of it. And so in doing, you find things that are very, very simplistic. And you're like, I have been overthinking all of this. And it's that search for knowledge, that thirst, to pardon the water collection pun, but it's that thirst that helps me to go, I'm going to have to find some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to practice them. You can have all of these really cool things, but if you don't actually put them into practice, what good is it? Now, when you're talking about water and you have silver, wait, hey, you know what? Silver is probably a good thing to have if you're going to be doing collection water and long-term storage, right? Because of its antimicrobial properties. There might be some thoughts to utilizing silver filters and things of that nature when
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to filter, right? So be thinking about those things and coordinate. Now, all of that stuff takes space. So be smart in your decisions, right? Take time and think about it. Be smart in the items that you collect. And understand if you don't have it, where to get it, right? Just like if you're a hunter, you're a gatherer, you're a fisherman, you have to realize that there's thousands of other people out there that you've never heard of silver filters for water. Oh man,
I never heard of them either.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're amazing. Neil, reverse osmosis is great, but you need fair amounts of pressure in order to be able to do it. Or you can use gravity-based systems, but you need some pretty hefty height in order to get reverse osmosis to work, especially where you're talking about, sending the water through diaphragms in order to do that. Water pressure, I think, has to be at least 25 psi, maybe a little bit higher. I got to remember what the minimum number is. The system that I use is 45 psi. So, but yeah, silver is a filter. Holy smokes, yeah. Some of the best filter, especially if you are one of those for what's it called? It's like water plus. Like, have you guys know what Essentia is?
No,
It's Essentia is a type of water that is like 9.5 on the pH scale. It's more basic than it is rich in pH. And a lot of people do that because if you are looking at absorption into the cells, you want something that is slightly higher in pH. It's a little bit of a misnomer because as soon as it enters your gut, your pH balances everything to zero. And there's very little uptake that happens in your esophageal tract. But what you can do is you can add silver to that mix. Colloidal silver, I see this showing up in here, which is really good at taking out some of those things. Yeah, we're not even going to get into microplastics, Neil. That's a whole wicket in itself. But yeah, you definitely want to.
and I'm not familiar with that at all, so I wouldn't know how to comment on that.
If you guys want, I will reach out to a buddy of mine. He used to own a water systems company, and they used silver-based filters in their water systems. Let me reach out to him and find out a little bit more about that. And I'll see if maybe one of the Stack Collector sessions, maybe I can get him on to talk about the use of silver filters and pressures that are needed and how he constructed one of his. I actually might even have photos of a system, of a filtration system that he built for water. Because they used to filter something like 250 to 500 gallons per day. So pretty heavy duty.
That's not so bad. I was actually thinking about getting, if I can, I think it's Marjorie Wildcraft is the name. Sometimes I think it's Westcliff, but I'm almost positive it's Wildcraft. She's the lady I learned about all the chickens and the eggs and the gardens and all that from.
Hold on real quick, Tiger. Hey, Mom, take care of yourself. Text me, let me know. I know that you guys get that high wind warning and stuff. So let me know, make sure everything's okay, and watch out for falling trees.
Take care, Mom.
So they've got these massive trees, and when the wind blows, they've had trees snap, and we're talking trees that are 2 feet in diameter, 3 feet in diameter.
Didn't you tell me she's like in Portland or something?
No, she's on the coast. Have you guys ever seen the movie? It's a classic. I actually got a picture of myself doing the truffle shuffle. Goonies. You remember the movie Goonies?
Oh, I love the Goonies.
So she lives in that area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
wasn't the really weird looking guy's name was Chuck?
well, Chuck was the little short fat dude that was
yeah,
always
yeah,
making
yeah.
up lies and eating pizza. But the sloth,
Yes.
sloth love junk. Yeah, baby Ruth. Yeah, I love that movie. Yeah.
A little side note, I'm going to go. Remember, you were talking about Ulysses S. Grant.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that is an amazing book. That was a good haul for you.
Yeah, it was. And I got the part 2. She thought she didn't have it, and then she found it, and I got that getting sent to me. But there's your dude.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't like him. They thought he was one of the worst presidents, and they did that because of the misunderstanding of all the things that were happening. He was really trying to put a country back together. And unfortunately, in doing so, he made some decisions that he thought would be good. And he just surrounded himself with some unfortunate people. His secretary was ripping off tax money from the sale of whiskey. So nipping at the sip. And then his brother-in-law actually played a major hand in something called Black Friday. So, yeah, so a story is amazing, and that's where the house for the the truffle shuffle. I actually got a video of me standing on that thing, right there by that thing, and by the mailbox doing the truffle shuffle. Yeah, just classic. It's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, just it's a lot of fun. It's a neat, beautiful area, and just up at the top of the hill, you have the area where Lewis and Clark Lookout is, so you can see a 360-degree view of that area. So tons of history up in that area. Fabulous. I've actually done a couple coin videos on Lewis and Clark, and so that's I talk about a story in that area. So I need to break out the truffle shuffle video and put it onto witticism.
I'm not familiar with that, so that'll be an education for me.
Uneducated economist. I'm not sure who that is. Is it somebody in chat?
I didn't see that name.
I didn't either. So, yeah, the tower is cool. It's very, very well done. Lots of great stuff. It's a tourist trap, obviously, but get up at the top of that, go up that freaking windy staircase, and get to the top of that. After you feel all dizzy. But yeah, I'm gonna watch the Goonies movie. I got you.
I've seen that since it first came out.
I love that. That's such a great show. I think I'm gonna probably watch it tomorrow. Actually,
you have it on CD or something?
I'm sure it'll be on demand. It's a classic one. You'll probably find the thing on Classic Movies or something like that.
Okay.
It's a shame that something like that's called a classic now.
Ain't that makes you feel really old, don't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, but it's all good. Hey, and folks, I want to do one thing. Bye, Mom. Love you bunches. Don't show the show. I'm going to show the truffle shuffle. It was hilarious. But one thing again, plugging Tiger Stacker's comment earlier about Stack Elector. Make sure you're subscribed to both channels and make sure you're sharing that stuff out. Neither one of us are asking for anything, so we're never going to sell you something. We may trade with people and do stuff like that just because that's their kind of like Tiger's gift to me today when he won Mad Stacker's bank race. That was a really nice gift. And so he's like, what are you talking about?
I am wondering what you're talking about. I don't
I
think
knew you were,
I wasn't on Mad Stacker's bank race.
but you were.
Oh, I must have forgot about that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, I put you on his bank race, and you won.
Are you joking me? You're pulling my leg. You
No,
love
I'm
to
not.
pull my leg.
I'm not.
Oh hell!
No. But anyway, great show. Got to go. Michael Stacking, have a good one. I know you're going to be going live here in a little while as well. And then somebody else is going live.
Don't
Who's going to
trust
watch
him.
it?
He likes to pull my tail.
Hey, quit waving your fanny at the camera.
And if you
Yeah.
want to talk about having natural gas, I'll put the fanny there, but that's just the tail.
Yeah, you're not, I wasn't joking with you. You won. Even Steve has said it. Yep, you won. So I told him that I'd be the official proctor. I know that they know that I was kidding. So, but yeah, congratulations. You didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
So, but yeah, make sure you're subscribed to both of them. And then again, the reason that we're doing this is to make sure that we impart the best amount of knowledge that we can. We're not great big channels. We don't have the power force that some of these channels that have done this for a long time. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you're just trying to copy Yankee and them." We're trying to do something
Did
different.
someone say that?
I've heard it from somebody, but I won't mention who.
Okay.
And it's like we've been very clear, even with people like Yankee.
Yeah, Yankee's known about us doing stack collecting.
Yeah, we've talked about him and briefed it with him and explained what we want to do. Hey, Metal Matt, have a good
Metal
one. Thanks
Matt.
for coming in. Appreciate all your support.
Coming.
Yeah, thank you so much for hanging around. But we want to do something different, right? Where we're talking about understanding both realms of things. It's not pure stacking. It's not pure collecting. It's more of understanding both sides of it and helping you make better decisions.
It's more of
please,
a symbiosis, if you will. In fact, on the last episode of Stack Collectors, you made mention, and I interrupted you at that moment, and I basically said, this is the number one reason Stack Collectors was invented. It's showing a symbiosis that can exist between a stacker and a numismatist collector, how each person can help each other, how a stacker might not know the ins and outs of what they have, and the numismatist could help them. Or in one case, like we brought up so many times, the peace dollars, I didn't really want the even the partial numismatic peace dollars for fear that my wife would get taken advantage of later. I wanted her to have straight weight, which she would understand, and you got to fill up your book. But that was one of loads of reasons that we started realizing, hey, this is a really cool thing that's happened between Frostbyte and me. We should share this with the rest of the community.
So, Steve, I'm going to address that in just a moment. Now, we've talked about this. There are other channels where the coin shops have really helped grow people. But this is exactly what Tiger's talking about. Now, Tiger and I, and again, I'm not sharing or dropping anything, but Tiger has talked to a number of people over the years and made friends and worked through stuff. I've worked on a lot of different things in the last 2 years. And again, remember that I've only had a channel for about 2 years and I hadn't collected or studied anything numismatic while my my daughter and my sons were growing up. As they've gotten older and they become more self-sufficient, I've been able to kind of get back into it and do this kind of thing and now focus on some of my hobbies again. Instead of focusing on them and going to band and going to school and going to football games and going to soccer games and softball games and volleyball games and weekend tournaments every weekend, which I loved. I would never take that back, but now I get to focus on me and I get to really work on wealth for my family. What Tiger and I have as far as friendships also pairs in our channel. And Tiger and I have traded things back and forth that have good numismatic value. And we've traded silver and gold. We've traded collectible tokens, metals. We've traded metals, which is like the flowing hair for numismatic items. We've done some really neat things that show people that you can work in a collaboration and a partnership with somebody to benefit both of you. Now, I would say, and again, this isn't a competition as far as money. Tiger is extremely gracious as a friend. And when it comes to monetary value, Tiger's gifted a lot of really neat things to me. And you guys have been in the streams. You've seen this, right? One of the coolest ones that he almost freaking made me cry. And I'm not saying that lightly. You can ask him. He choked me the holy hell up when he sent me a 10th ounce gold ship coin. Him and I had been working really, 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 really hard to the tune of about 35 hours in a week in supporting his IT stuff. Right. And so, but Tiger doesn't just do that with me. Right.
Don't
and so
tell everybody. I just wanted to see if he would shut up.
Yeah.
Don't tell him.
But the thing is that we want people to understand that if you really, again, be who you are, but find people in that community that you can share and change and interplay coins and silver and gold and bullion and platinum and palladium and zirconium and diamond and ruby and whatever it is that you stack and collect and keep and whatever. Find people who are the same nature that want to work and trade back and forth. If you have somebody who doesn't have a bunch of money, and for me, my time with Tiger is tech support and walking through stuff and consultation, because that's what I have to offer our friendship. It's knowledge, right? This is what I try to do in that. Does it make his gifts any more impactful because I'm not able to turn around and give him stuff? You know what? No, I gifted him a $6 spot and he won gold. Badass. It was a really small gift to add a massive outcome. Does that mean that he owes me anything? No. Does it mean I'm going to give him a ration of shit because he won and I didn't? Hell yeah. But what matters here is the fact that Tiger and I have a friendship built on integrity and trust. And that's what we want people in this community to have. And so looking at, God, Steve, fuck, you're in, excuse me. Okay, hold on. Super chat. Where is it? I got it drop. That's like a $10 super chat or something. Holy crap. You're in my mind, dude, because this is exactly where I was going. So when you when you look at people like Yankee, Seeker, Salivate Metal, when you look at some of these channels, and there are other ones out there. Silver Wolverines has done a lot for me to come in and say, hey, here's a little bit of information. You're doing really good. You talked about this, but here's a great one. Hey, Miss Wanker, speak of the devil. She loves me because I'm the only person that she can stand next to and hug and put their arm around without standing like this.
Yeah, and you're not trying to steal her nuts.
Yeah, sorry, Mom. I was totally missed. But there are some...
that I also want to briefly, I'll let you hop on that here. This started off with me asking for tech support. And Frosty frequently reiterated multiple times he didn't want to be paid. He did this out of the kindness of his heart, and he wanted to see me get better at tech and grow my channel, etc. When he did that, he reminded me of my dad. My dad was the same way. He would help anyone and didn't want anything in return. And there was a number of guys, my dad, my uncle, a number of others. They were all with it, that they helped each other out. Cars, plumbing, electricity, remodeling, they all did it, and they all helped each other out, and they didn't expect anything in return, but they appreciated when the other person was in need of help, that the rest of them came to help out. So that was how it was. There was one guy who could not do that. He didn't have the handyman skills. And his name was Phil. Phil was an attorney. He went to high school with my dad, and his sister went to high school with my dad. And Phil would give things to the family. My dad's like, I didn't want anything. I didn't want to be paid. He says, I'm not paying you. I'm showing you my appreciation.
Tiger does that for me a lot.
He's my dad. I'm Phil.
Guys, I don't, and again, it's hard to say this, right? Hey, 888, how you doing?
Hey, Nickel.
What's going on? A lot of people look at and go, yeah, and I'm going to pick on Mad Stacker. I love Mad Stacker. There was one gift in particular, and Tiger and I were talking. We were online. We were together. We were doing this, just not live. And we were talking. We were going through some stuff, and he was listening to something happen in the background. I was trying to figure out how to, I'm saying this jokingly, but I think it's true, how to get his freaking fan menu back up on his computer for his downloads. He's going to think that's funny because he understands why I say
that damn download so many times.
It's like I should do a script that does that and it automatically comes back for him. But we were doing something and he was like, oh, a 5-ounce proof Libertad. And I was like, oh man, I love my Libertads. Libertads are amazing. And I'm like, that's a beautiful piece. I would love to have one of those, but I'm not going to be, there's too many other things that I would rather do or have than spend that kind of premium on a proof 5-ounce Libertad. Just not my thing. And so we were talking and he was doing something and he was like, send me your address. And I was like, why? He's like, send me your address. I sent him my address. And then I hear Matt in the background, God, I wish I had a friend like Tiger. Congrats, Frosty. And I was like, what? Hold on. What did he say? And he's like, oh, get online. Check this out. And I was like, Tiger, no, dude. I was just telling you it'd be a cool piece. And he's like, I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate you being here now, helping me work through this issue. And I don't hang out with Tiger because he does this stuff for me. There have been times where we've done stuff for each other just because. A great example of that was the Frosted Flakes, right? Prime example. My intent, he had no idea. My intent was to get that piece for him because it was Frosty, it was Tiger, it was a fun play on words. And so he did something, came in. I told him this, hey, I want to give this to you. This is what you want to do. So he did it. I said, send it to Tiger.
You said you had something locked up.
Yeah.
Only one win to get. I won. A little side note: the 5-ounce Libertad was the first time I entered into any of the races.
Yeah.
So, but then give my win to Frosty, and then I think it was Mad you bought it from.
No, I don't remember who it was, but anyway.
And then
I had been talking. No, it was Steve.
Yeah,
because I had messaged him and said, "Hey, I want you to set that aside because that has Tiger written all over it." No, it's not a bromance, dude. What this is this is showing people that you can have this kind of friendship in the community. I know you have this Coin Crew.
Leave the room, bromance. I thought bromance was like really good friends. Does it have another connotation?
Yeah, it can. But again, the whole point behind this, the whole reason for talking about this is we want people to understand that you can have good friendships, good relationships, and have it benefit what it is that you're doing, whether it's stacking, whether it's collecting. Tiger and I have done this with peace dollars. We've done this with the silver dimes. He would send me 3 rolls of silver dimes. I would review them, send them back. He would send me 3 more. We would look over them. Didn't really find anything on the silver dime thing, but when we did the peace dollar, we found quite a few of them that benefited me numismatically. We went through, we looked at it, we found the price tags, we found the stuff, and it's like, hey, this is what it goes for. That's going to be 3-to-1. And he ended up getting a 14.
I got
Basically
14 for
straight out, right?
I doubled my weight.
You doubled your weight, and I got the 7 pieces that helped me fill my numismatic book. But Frosty, your green screen is making your grasses look like you have horns. Okay, there. Hold on, just a second. I did this earlier when I was picking on somebody. I don't know if any of you saw this. It's going to make my face disappear. Are you ready?
All right.
So if you don't know what this is a little mask. So, but anyway, fun stuff. Fun to play around. So, but again, that's what Stack Collector is. It's a collaboration of numismatists. It's a collection, a partnership of stackers, primarily Tiger and I, but other people as well.
Here's another one. I had 2 of these. One slabbed, as you can see, and the other one was not slabbed, but it had a chop mark. And he wanted a good quality that he could put in his book. Were they both of the same year?
Yep.
1976. I'm sorry, 1876. Sorry. But basically, I don't know if they were the same year, but he liked the chop mark. And he, between himself and his family, ended up getting a couple extra flowing hair Liberty medals. And I thought I'd just buy the real one. No, those things are $5,000 to $7,000. So I missed out. So we did a trade, and this was good enough for me because even though it's not the real coin, it's straight silver instead of 90%. It's good enough to at least use as a teaching tool to teach my grandchildren about how our country, how our government has ruined our money. And that was the whole purpose of the teaching box, so that they can learn what to protect themselves against. So, what the price of what the flowing hair was is about the same price as the trade dollar. So we just traded. And that happens somewhat frequently between the 2 of us.
Well, and again, the trademarks, and when we talk about the value of those, again, a 1-for-1 trade. I got an opportunity for a really cool piece, right? Which was the numismatic piece that actually helped me fill my book. I've still got a couple pieces that I need to fill, but again, this is how you can benefit, because it's one of those things where if you're good with understanding that you don't have to take advantage of somebody, then it's one of those where some amazing things can be accomplished. The amount of information. Oh, by the way, Miss Coin Crew, why do I have that? This is actually my son's. And I'll do it this way because it's green and so it disappears. But they were doing a thing for Chappie, and so I put this on because he's an alien thing. So I got to go give that back to my son. It doesn't fit my face. My face is too round and fluffy for that. So, but yeah, I'm a bum that I can't go to Tulsa this year. Unfortunately, with Bifrost's going to college schedule, it's going to be very difficult for me to get there.
Hey, 9 for
So,
9.
I was looking forward to it too. To
Maybe
hang out with you guys there.
Maybe we'll be able to get out there, and I was kind of toying with the idea of going out there. Be kind of funny because most people don't know what it looked like. Just to see what, as I'm going through the stations, see how many people will recognize the voice. As long as I don't giggle, I have a good chance of being incognito.
Well, yeah, he wouldn't be able to see me because that would be wasted in a heartbeat. But yeah, again, the whole stack collector thing, it's just it's meant to it's just meant to grow people. That's the premise. No, we're not asking anything of anybody. We just ask you to be there and learn and share your information and knowledge. And when we do something, if it helps you, then let us know. Because
I'll elaborate on that a second. I am toying with the idea of doing auctions, but the one time I did it, I was disappointed how things were going and people were acting. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it until I have all my ducks in a row and I get to do it the way I want to do it and have fun the way I want to have fun. Otherwise, it's just not worth it for me. So I might go into auctions simply because I want to do certain things that are kind of fun and exciting. But that's going to be a tiger issue, not a stack collector issue. Hey, aspiring alchemist.
Space Cowboy. Truer words were never spoken. When something is unconditional, no agenda, anything, the rewards can be deeper than one's imagination can go. Absolute fact. The friendship, and again, you call it bromance or whatever. Tiger and I joke about this. Our spouses joke about this. It's like, okay, go talk to your boyfriend, right? But it's one of these things that Tiger and I have said this a number of times. When Tiger got really sick, Tiger said something that kind of caught people by surprise, in that I never knew a group of people who I just talked to actually cared about who I was. And the understanding that people in this community are pretty freaking amazing, like really neat people. And a lot of amazing things can happen if we do two things, and we have to do two things. Number one, we have to operate under the premise of integrity all the time, every time. If we can, people make mistakes, it happens. But if you operate under the intention of integrity, you are a person of your word. You stand by your word. You don't run your mouth about stuff you don't understand. Sometimes you can talk about it, but you just go on and you talk about, you hear these people all the time. Don't do that, right? Don't do that. Agree to disagree, but just be done. But the other one that's even more important is if we focus more on doing servant leadership, which is being of service to other people over us getting. God, man, I'm telling you, Space Cowboy is absolutely correct. The amount of impact that we can have. This is how things change. This is how people change. And this is how communities grow and make an impact in other people's lives. I'm Miss Coin Crew, my filter is broken. That is no joke. 100%. And we love you for it. But I heard a story. How many?
The filter is broken, which must match his wallet because I haven't had a ka-ching.
Well, because I'm here and I can't super chat in StreamYard.
Just messing with you.
Hold on just a sec.
No, you don't have to do that. I'm just messing with you. You're helping me out with the channel right now.
My mom heard it, so I've got to pay. She was like, "Excuse me, what the heck did you say?"
Oh, Mama's coming with the soap, dude. That's gonna be more precious than the super chat.
Well, I'm going to do this instead because this is going to benefit not only you but other people in the chat.
Oh, why? Thank you.
So let's do this. Oh no, I pull that back. Ringmaster Ray got one. Nope, I recall. Ringmaster Ray, Weldon Carey, J.R. Vegundi, Papa York, and Azure. Congratulations on getting memberships.
Congratulations, and welcome to the Tiger family. Oh, by the way, I had a meeting with the members, and just I'm still waiting to hear back from all of you. I want, especially if I'm getting more free time, which I'm fighting for. If I get more free time, I want to be able to give to the members. So if you have any ideas what I can give at the 2 levels, and then come up with ideas for the next 3 levels. But right now, the only thing I got that makes a little bit of sense to me is every 3 months for members that are a membership consistently. I'll be spinning the wheel for level 1 Tiger Cub, your choice, a 1-ounce silver round or a silver dollar. And if you are a Malayan Tiger, which is level 2, there'll be 2 ounces of silver or 2 silver dollars, your choice. Just a little food for thought. But if you can come up with some other ideas, what you want to see being members, and we can talk about it, I'll try to arrange another members only live chat, and we can see where we go from there. You guys were really awesome with helping me figure out what to do with the introduction. You all hated that AI tiger. I now don't have the AI tiger anymore. We are working on the outro music. He has changed the music a little bit. It sounds very Irishy, and I don't really see it fits. Well, you've heard it. Does it not sound Irishy?
I'm good by it.
And but the animation, which is the same, doesn't quite seem to fit. So I sent him.
It's gonna be a play. You'll get there, and it's gonna be fine.
I'm just gonna, when we end this stream, I'm just gonna outro with the one the original one, and maybe at the members we'll show the 2 outros as they are and where we're going and what's been newly developed. But that'll be meant for the members only, because that
Steve,
with them.
I am not streaming on my channel. I didn't stream this one mainly because I've got something up right now that I want to be the focal point. And that was the video that I did last night, the live stream, and then some of the shorts. I'm letting that sit until tomorrow, so I didn't want to go live. Plus, I wasn't sure exactly what time Tiger was going on because we were doing that. So if you want to do something for me, just come hang out in the morning and do that. But there's no need. I appreciate your support. If you want to give that to Tiger, you're more than welcome to do so.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but thank you anyway. And Check, thank you for upgrading to Malayan Tiger. So we're now at 2 hours and 9 minutes.
I came on late. I wasn't able to. Wasn't able to see that.
Other stuff. Amy, new member. Thank you, Amy.
Oh, but Miss Coin Crew, I don't even know why I didn't ask this. You have ship coins. I forgot to put something in chat. I was watching them while doing something else today. I'm actually writing an article and saw those, and I all of a sudden went, "Oh, she has ship coins. Are you going to be putting them on tomorrow, or can I just tell you that I want one?" Let me know, because there's one of them that I want to get, which is I think it was the 2017. They are on the website. Okay. Yeah, because there's one of them that I wanted to get. I'm missing it of my collection. I have all of them but one. Sorry, Tiger. I just was like,
No problem. No
oh,
problem. I know you're crazy about ships.
I love my ships. The other one that was really cool.
Except that one airplane you told me to stand down.
The SR-71.
It's like, no, he didn't tell me to stand down. No,
I did. I said, Tiger, stand down.
I said, no,
That SR-71 is mine.
Oh, I'm going to run with this. I'm going to torment the crap out of him.
Okay, so I'm going to plug.
Thank you for the 10 memberships.
Ah, freaking awesome. That's cool. Hey, Miss Coin Crew, I'm going to plug this. If you guys haven't.
Jim Holmes, Silver and Cigars, Justin, Genetic Player, Coins Making Sense, Eunice Torres, and UFOs No Joke. Congratulations. And
Shalom, Gilbert.
So much.
I'm going to call out something, and I don't know exactly where it's at. It's towards the middle end of the silver video that Miss Coin Crew did in her weekly pickup my collection premier train stuff that she continues to do. There was I don't know if it's a coin, if it's a pour, if it's 1 ounce, if it's 2 ounce. But that damned pirate compass one was freaking sick. That was a cool coin. So if you guys go and you want to see a really cool piece, and I can't remember. I know it's towards the middle end. She showed this freaking piece, and it's got like it's 2 ounces. It's 3 or 4 skulls, and in the center of it's a compass, and it's kind of octagonal, hexagonal. Is it 6 or 8 sides? I think it's 8 sides. The octagonal, and it's got the 3 or 4 pirates in it. And then damn, that piece is amazing. So, yeah, like, and I didn't comment because, like I said, I was just watching and listening and trying to write this article and do stuff, and totally missed it. But I'm like, yeah, that thing is bad. Yeah, cool stuff. The Tesseract, is that the one that has the stone? Is that the one that she showed after? Is it blue or white? I can't remember. It's the one that has like Odin and the Vikings. Hexasac. Yeah, it's some really cool stuff. I missed my own video today. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just listening. But there were like 3 or 4 items. I'm trying to actually. Oh, I got it up.
What happened? Did Keith hit you with that mallet? You know you have to give me that Thor's hammer.
Hey, Tiger, pull up what I have. This is the item, and I actually just went into her video and just pulled this up. Look at this.
Pull that up. There it is.
That thing is cool.
Yeah, it is.
I saw that and I went, I need to follow up with her. This was out of all the pieces she showed. There's another one, and I think it's over here. It's still loading.
Frosty, you're gonna hate me.
What?
I think I got 2 of them.
Did you have 3 or you just have 2?
I just got 2. I get
Fine.
the stackers, and I just get
So
2, and that's it.
Where's the other? Oh, there they are. These are the other ones right after. Right? No. These things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, look at that. God, those are so cool. Just so cool. And I have that one. But anyway, so yeah, go check that out. This just fabulous freaking piece. I want one of those. I'm gonna have to get one. So yeah, they're awesome.
Get a stacker. You got to get 2. That way, at least take them once out of their case, put them in, make sure they stack right, take them back out, put them back in the case, put them away.
Oh no, I'll get one of those. And yeah, I remember when pirate pours were considered the forbidden fruit. That'll go into my ship collection. Like it's a really, really cool piece. Yeah, I wouldn't stack them either. I'm sure they're probably pretty pricey. That's probably $150 piece, but damn, that was cool.
It is.
So I just all of a sudden I was like, I seen something from Miss Coin Crew that was really neat. And I want to make sure I call that out on because that was really cool. Cool stuff. I think those are the two big things. The ship coins at the beginning, which is what I remembered, and then the pirate. Of course, it's me. I clue up on ships. I wouldn't stack them. $125. Yeah. I mean, 2 ounces, I would expect it to be about that price, but it's a cool piece.
Yeah. The only thing is you're usually crazy about ships. I'm usually crazy about airplanes. But basically, if you think about it, that's basically almost the same thing. They're going through something, a liquid or a gas, and they both need rudders to steer with. So,
Here's a question for you. The USS Enterprise.
yes.
What was its classification?
USC, no, it's a USS. No, it wasn't USS. NCC.
NCC was the whole number.
Yeah. Oh crap. Now I'm starting to think. Yeah, there were classifications of it, especially when they started coming out with Next Generation. I'm pulling a blank.
It was a naval ship.
Well, I remember it was a naval ship. That's when they did the movie.
What type of ship was it? Not a carrier. Wasn't a battleship. That was Galaxy class starship.
Are you talking about the boat ship, or are you talking about the spaceship?
So, what kind of ship was it? It's like was it a battleship? Was it a cruiser? Was it a destroyer? Was it a frigate? What kind?
I don't think it was a frigate. I think it was. I think it was a cruiser.
It's a cruiser, Galaxy class cruiser. Yeah.
I just loved when Chekhov. But sir, it is the Enterprise. I love that part of that movie. That was so awesome. Too bad a lot of them have passed away. I miss them.
USS Constitution, one of my favorite ships.
Okay. My dad helped me buy a Ford Explorer, Ford, not Explorer, Bronco 2. It was my very first new car, and I needed it for medical school. I named it the USS Enterprise, and I bought a front plate and put it on the front of the vehicle, and I drove that for years and years and years until it wouldn't drive anymore. But I had a plate on it for many years, USS Enterprise. I miss those people.
I'm trying to pull something up. Da, 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 da. Where is it? Oh, it's a Constitution class starship.
Space,
The
the final frontier.
Fair.
These are the voyages of the USS Enterprise.
Starship
A
Enterprise.
5-year mission to travel
Starship
new
Enterprise.
worlds,
Not
seek out
USS
new
Enterprise.
life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Da, 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 da. Oh, that was the Love Boat.
I used to
You
know
missed
that.
that, by the way. USS Enterprise CV6. There you go. Was trying to pull something up, but I can't find the other one. Ambassador class is the NC-17A main setting television series. Galaxy class. Okay. Yeah, now we're getting old. That is true. Yeah. No, well, so Gilbert, in Navy terms, both of the Enterprises were, but we were talking about Star Trek. There were 3 different classifications of ship. One of them was a cruiser, the other one was an ambassador class starship, and then the other one was a Galaxy class starship. The 17 was the constitutional class, I believe, if I remember correctly, because it was tied to nation and freedom and searching and going beyond and whatever. But they were always tied to the main topic, the main tenet of whatever that group was. Trying to remember what, I can't remember what it's called. I'm not a very good Star Trek fandom person, but
You're absolutely right, Barbara. The woman who played the nurse was his, I believe it was his second wife. I think he left his first wife for her. Majel Barrett was her name. She also played the mother to the empath on Next Generation. Oh shoot! I'm pulling a blank. It'll come to me sooner or later.
yeah. So the fellow, you're right. The modern Star Trek is a travesty. When I first saw it, I was waiting for something like Spaceballs kind of humor, and it wasn't there at all. I was like, oh, this is a really crappy comedy. And come to find out, it was supposed to be just like the early one. And I'm like, oh,
Oh, you're talking about with Jonathan Archer?
yeah, horrible. Absolutely. I was waiting for the satire because I was like, there's no way. Yeah. So what were you saying? I see Deanna Troy, Lieutenant Worf.
Deanna Troy, yes, that was the empath.
Yeah.
And her mother was a true true path, a true telepath. But being she was half human, she only got empath. And
What was Deanna Troy mother's name? You guys remember? I'll give you a clue. It starts with an L.
Shoot.
Bye, Angel. Hope you get feeling better.
Bye, Angel.
And if I was to do that, I would have needed to go to sleep months ago. Loxana Troy.
Yes. And she was always ticking off everybody.
Yep. Loxana. Yep. Space Cowboy. Got it. It's not spelled that way. It's like LWANXA or something like that. But yeah.
Neil's requesting come up on board. You okay with
Cool.
that?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Hey, see ya. I'm just kidding. What's going on, Neil?
I'm surprised more people don't come up and talk with you guys.
There's a lot of people just like to watch. I don't necessarily want to be.
I've asked lots of people, but they've never taken me up on it. Usually, it's the ladies that don't come up. Well, the only lady I think that's ever come up was Nyx.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had any females come up on my show, and I'm just surprised that more people just don't come up. I mean, it's an exchange of information. Everybody has lived a unique life of their own and got information. That's, I would think everyone has information to share.
Yeah, but some people are just not comfortable being live. A great case in point, I did a really cool interview with a lady who called out Bullion Shark. Her name was Midnight Joe. And she was like, I will record with you. I will do whatever. We will not do a live. I just don't like doing that type of environment. And there are people that just don't like it.
It's like public speaking. You got to
Yeah.
get past the fear stage.
And so there's a lot of people who just won't come up. But there's also times when you do stuff like this that you get a bunch of people who won't ever shut up. And they go and they go and they go and they go. Yeah, and I'm not talking about me, even though I do that. But I've had people up and they just want to take over your show. So you have both sides of it. I've invited people up. I also had somebody pretend to be Satan come up on my show too one day.
Oh, that's
I
sweet.
think I was there
when I was trying to talk about the Constitution and go through some stuff, and he was trying to frame me because he was trying to get me to shut him down. And I'm like, no, this is free speech. You can say what you want to. I want to ask a question. Well, people hate me. Well, why? Oh, I don't know. And then he started to go through and do some crazy stuff. I thought, look, if you can't be respectful, I'm going to remove you for the respect. Say what you want, but answer the why, right? Why do you feel this way? Why do you say that? Why do you think that is? And wouldn't do it, right? Total troll.
No, you just complete disrespectful.
Yeah, and I said, so I'm removing you from the stream, but I need you to understand, I'm not going to block you from chat until you become ignorant. And they ended up being removed from chat because then they started going really bad and got really nasty. But I mean, so it happens. I do things different than I do now when I go live, and I don't share my links out very frequently. But when we have community chats like this, I'll open it up and we can just talk and do whatever. I will do this though. If I'm going to do something like this, I won't do it in vertical mode. Because the trolls come out like freaking mad.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. When you're streaming only on your phone, oh man, people go, yeah, Aspiring Alchemist. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Like it was like they were. I mean, it was like, I mean, it was just all voiceover stuff, and they were just trolls. They came back in under a different name, tried to do it again, and I reported it to Google, and Google shut them down. Like, not just their YouTube, they just shut their Google account down.
Wow.
Because I took a snippet of the video and submitted it to Google, and they classified it as hate speech and shut them down. So,
way to go, brother. Way to go.
It's not, but the thing is it had nothing to do with him claiming to be anything. It was the ignorance that they were doing. There's no part in that, right? That's open discussion. You guys can say whatever the hell you want to. You can tell me that I'm an idiot, I'm a fool, I'm stupid, I'm undereducated, and that's your point. But I need you to tell me why you feel that way. And that's when we can have a discussion. Don't just say it and then be done. I need to be able to know why. I want to have that discussion, because if I don't understand why, you're never going to change my mind.
I'd have to say it has to be because of those glasses.
You
There
mean
we
my-
go. There you go. See, now I have no problem.
Well, here. Oh, here.
Didn't mean to make you self-conscious about the glasses. There you go. I would call you
Even
Jason
better.
Friday the 13th, but I can't see you now.
Now I can tell you this. If I was to do this, my channel would probably get banned. People freak out over that.
They
Not
forget
sure why.
things. Last time I really got some decent, over 1,000 views. It might have been the same person, but because it was almost the same verbiage, mentioning the tiger hands and how gay it was, and it was always about gay this and gay that, and I'm like, I'm about people being respectful to each other, and in fact, I was reading it when I was on Uncle Sal's channel, and Uncle Sal just said, just remove them, and I did. But I was like, and I looked them up. Every last one of them was a brand spanking new channel with almost no subscribers. And it looked like it was all set up on the same basic date.
Well, so here's the thing. You'll get people coming in, and the thing you have to be careful for, right? This is, of all the things, and I'll do this so people can see my eyes because it's extremely important that people understand this. If you see somebody in chat that normally is kind, respectful, and they just start calling and bad-mouthing people and being ignorant, immediately, and this goes for Melted Copper, this goes for Aspiring Alchemist, this goes for me, Check Stacker, any of you guys who are a mod, right? Go to their channel and look at the date. If the date is within 24 hours or 48 hours, no questions asked, just remove them. But there is a way that you can find out more about that channel by reporting them and saying, hey, they're spamming multiple accounts. Because when they send you the report, they'll send you their number, their account number. And then you can go to Google, put in that account number, and it'll tell you who they are. Now, it'll block out their personal information, but you can actually find out who these people are. There's a person in our community who I called out by name because she was doing this, taking up different accounts, going in and blasting people. And so I reached out, got the thing, issued a complaint, got the report back, went to Google, reported it, and explained what was going on, and then sent Google and that person a message and said, I want you to know that I'm requesting a formal shutdown. And then I had a CC, which was my attorney, and I CC'd my attorney and said, if this continues to happen, I'm going to seek legal action. It has never happened again. It stopped, like it's done. In fact, you haven't seen that person in chat very frequently.
Wow.
You haven't seen him at all in any of mine. So if it gets really bad, and I don't mean just because you want to do that and report it, because if you negatively report somebody and you're just being ignorant and mean and you want to do that to whatever, you can get in a lot of legal trouble for that, because spouting libel, which is, defamation, can definitely cause some issues. But if it gets really bad, there's ways for you to get with YouTube and track it and then get it to Google's hands, because Google doesn't play that game. They don't play that. If you're going to be manipulative and speak hate and do stuff like that, they will hammer you.
I also sometimes, it doesn't happen as much anymore, but still sometimes, I had it happen this week, where someone's talking, saying good show, blah blah blah, something about crypto, and always ends in the word Beyonce. You and I have talked about that before, and you told me just get them up and hide them from the channel or something.
Well, and those are bots, right? And you're going to get, hey, have you heard about this really new program? I got to put these on, my eyes are hurting. Have you heard about this new program that helps you? Or they tell you, hey, great investment video, really nice research, love the channel. You've really helped me, but I have a couple questions. And then you say, shoot, fire away, hey, go ahead. And then all of a sudden it's like you get 5 or 6 comments about this Chinese crypto based program. They're bots, and they subscribe to your account. I've had one stream in particular, was not a very good stream, just a chit chat kind of thing. I got 9 subscribers. When I blocked those things, I lost all 9. Because they all chatted in the same thing, but they were all bots. And YouTube will go through and they will look at those and they will identify and they will remove those. And you can, report them every time you get a major bot like that. Make sure you're reporting them.
I don't know how to report yet, so I haven't done that.
You just click the 3 dots and you report. and it'll bring up a thing, and then you answer the questions and fire it away.
I just clicked to hide channel.
Hiding channel, if they're just being ignorant, then it is what it is. But if they're being blatant or they're spamming you, then that's against the community guidelines. So report them and get them knocked out. Because the bots, I mean, they're bot farms and they do thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of messages per second to some of these subsites. So, yeah.
Wow. Didn't know that. Okay.
Now, Melted Copper, one thing about being blocked, Neil is correct. You're blue, you can't be blocked. But if you get blocked on a page and you weren't doing anything, I'm going to tell you it probably is because they're on their phone. And if you go to click on something, it doesn't work and you click twice, now you've inadvertently timed them out or blocked them. Reach out to your host and say, go in and look at your block and see if I've blocked this person. Go into your settings. Matter of fact, if you want me to, I can show people how to do that. Moderators, it'd be good. Actually, I won't do this here because there's a potential for me to show stuff. We'll host a group one with both of our channels and our mods, and we'll explain how that works. If you're interested in learning.
Did you start a live stream, simultaneous live stream?
Yeah,
No.
I'm cheating.
Oh, Neil?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm cheating.
Okay.
I was talking to
two reasons is because one, I don't recognize Melted Copper. I never heard that before. By the way, welcome Melted Copper. It also has that double parentheses with a minus sign in the middle, which means
he's on my chat. I didn't know it would actually come through from my show chat onto your show chat.
It always does because he's the host.
Oh yes, I learned something new today too.
Yeah,
looks like Gerald's the same. It looks like it's demonstrating with that little thing you were talking about, Tiger. People that are chatting on my chat have that.
Yeah, it comes over right next to their avatar. Begin parentheses, end parentheses, and the minus sign in the middle. So I learned that when we did our live stream after the presidential debate between Kamala and Trump, and I wasn't able to see my own stream, but yours was going through, and I didn't realize it was. I thought maybe the computer world fixed itself when it was just I needed to do new commands that I didn't know about. But no, that's what it means.
All it was.
Signs.
Yeah.
You want to put a link so that the people in my chat can come over here to get that little thing off their avatar?
Say that one more time.
You want to put a link to one of your two guys' chats so they can YouTube shows so people in my chat can jump over to your chats?
No, I'm not streaming live. I'm only on Tiger, so I'm not worried about it.
If you want to do that, that's fine. I would.
Tell me. I wish I knew how.
Just leave it the way it is, dude. It's fine. No worries. They're showing up. We can still chat. It's just that we will see it on our stream, but they won't necessarily see the chat between them. So they're going to be people like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't see that. So they'll be like, who in the hell are you talking to? There's nobody here by that name.
Talking to a ghost, baby. Talking to a ghost.
Yeah. So it's just, we understand what's going on. Not a big deal. Yeah, check. Absolutely. I don't mind doing that at all. Tiger, let's go ahead and find a time. Maybe when do you take off? When do you depart?
Well, it was tentatively I was going to fly out on the 6th, and the doctor that has the two shifts before me for both March and April has contacted me because he wants to part ways with that company. So he asked me to take the 2 days beforehand. I'm waiting for the wife to answer, which is the reason why I mentioned to you that for Stack Collector, we might want to do something on a different time frame or a different idea, because if I did that, I would nowhere near be available for that Thursday. So
I'm tracking. I got you.
maybe we can do it the Thursday before. It'll be two back-to-back stack collector.
I have no problem doing that. If you guys want to do that, we can do that. It wouldn't be normal practices as far as your standard stacking stuff, but we can definitely do that. Even if you want to have one where it's just the moderators for both channels, we can do that as well.
Yeah, we can do it moderators only also.
Yeah, so I'm good with either way. Doesn't matter
for moderators what they want to do. I know how to do members only. Is there a way to do moderators only?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It's in the settings when you set your views up, who's going to be there, so you can see that.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So,
No. But basically, my goal is to start getting my employer to leave me alone for Thursdays. So 1 week it'll be stack collector, the next week will be tiger, the next week stack collector, the next week tiger. It's kind of hard for me to give some consistency to YouTube and to all of you because my employer is relentless about trying to put people on the schedule. And then when he doesn't get his way, he doesn't give you a lot. It's kind of, childish, but I can't fix it. Although he did stop when he found out that I was looking at another hospital to work at, and he quit playing the little games. So, but basically my goal is to do every Thursday free, so that it's once it's stack collector, once it's me, once it's stack collector, once it's me, and that way I get into somewhat of a consistent pattern to be available for all of you while I'm doing live streams. I've noticed that consistency really is what people really enjoy, and they don't like when things are kind of hodgepodge, kind of like the way I have to do it right now. But I want to get to a point where it's good for everybody.
yeah, no worries.
You going to sleep, MR? You have a good night, dude.
Yeah, it won't be too long before me. I already told you I don't want to be up too long because I've had a long day today, but then I've got a fairly long day tomorrow, so I'm going to be turning in pretty quickly.
Yeah, and we're at 2 hours and 42 minutes, so it might not be a bad idea for everyone to, you get ready for bed, and I go back to messing with the last video and that type of thing. Besides, I want to start working on the pouring station because I got some equipment coming in, and I want to put together a table for the new equipment. Yeah, I know. Frosty needs his rest. Look at him.
Yeah, I'm tired. I've been running hard all day.
Yeah, he can't go like us tigers. He just doesn't have the stripes for it.
Well, I've been
new blockers,
researching for an article that I'm writing that I'm going to be submitting to the American Numismatic Association for publication. So
cool.
Just about to finish that up, and I'll be sending that off. So been working, trying to get all that stuff taken care of. So been burning the candle a lot the last couple of days, and I need to get some rest tonight.
Understood. So I guess that means it's time to say goodnight. Was that what I'm reading you all?
So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Yeah, I'm wrapping it up. If you guys want to stay on and chat, feel free. Enjoy.
No, I want to get to the video that I have.
Okay.
It's, oh my goodness. I'll give you all a hint before I go. I had done 2 videos where I verified 2 different coins, one gold, one silver, using a lot of different techniques, but always ended up using the specific gravity test. And a lot of you complained because it was math and all that type of stuff that just absolutely did not enjoy the math. I'm working on a thing that even a non-mathematician can follow the rules that I put down and make it good so that you all can use the specific gravity test and not have to be frustrated with the math. So that's coming up, and that's what I want to work on, because I want to do something that I can give back to the community. So just to give you a heads up, because when that comes, please spread it out there. I know this video is going to be a little bit sciencey, but you have to understand the basics of some science to understand the basics of the math, and then to understand the what I'm going to give to you to make you understand why it's working as it does. Okay? So enough said about that, but that's coming. And by the way, if you all loved what I did with Lynette Zhang, please put a 1 in the chat. I would love to get some feedback from that. I can't show it. I've been asked not to.
Yeah, don't Tiger.
Don't.
Try and get David Morgan.
Don't mention it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I won't.
Don't mention anything. Don't blow any secrets. Try and get David Morgan. Can Lynette Zhang hook you up with David Morgan?
I have no earthly idea. I have my affiliation with Lynette is a brand new friendship, and I don't know how strong that friendship can go.
I would go ahead and wait until you have a few coffees.
That might work.
Yeah, wait till you get to know her better and let her guide the relationship.
Okay, well, I said all I needed to say. I'm assuming the two of you did too.
I am practicing being quiet. Because I
need
heard
to do that more frequent.
I heard someone say people ramble a lot when they're up on panels, and I saw some stuff in chat, so I decided I'd be quiet this round.
Understood.
That's not what I meant, Neil. You know that.
I know. I just figured I'd take advantage of any humorous scenario and get out of it.
Speaking of humor, Tiger, you have a mirror?
Oh, that wasn't the joke?
No, it is the joke. That is the joke. So.
Hold on, Tiger. I got.
I'm glad you laughed at that, though, because a lot of people are like, "Yeah."
No, it's actually in the bathroom.
There's the mirror right there. I just put it up for you.
Damn,
that's just one of those jokes. That's hilarious. So,
folks.
Okay.
I got a parting two stage joke. First one is why did the chicken cross the road?
Well, if it's the one where I think you're going, you want me to answer, or do you want me to wait?
Sure, go ahead.
To get to the idiot's house, knock knock. Who's there? The chicken.
You got it. That I love that joke. Right,
I knew where you were going with this.
You guys,
because you said it's a 2-part joke. It was like, I know exactly where this chicken's going.
Thank you for allowing me up here. You guys have a good evening and a great weekend.
All right, Tiger, I want a bell too.
Okay, so we're going to close out with the outro. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the weekend, and we'll see you very soon. Hold on. There we go.
Gather round, my friends, let the stories unfold. In the glow of our treasures, silver and gold, we honor the past. History's gleam through science and art. We follow the dream. Frostbyte, Nick, surfer Yankee by name. In the circle of passion, we burn with the flame. 1,500 strong, our bond won't sever. In this world of collectors, we're united forever. So let's jingle our silver, let it ring so true. Spin the wheel of fortune, let the fun shine through. With every coin, every bar, every nugget we hold, we're a family of seekers of silver and gold. On the stream we gather like stars in the night, sharing stories and laughter, shining so bright. We treasure the chase, every find is a win. Through the highs and the lows, let the games begin. Every mint mark a memory, every ounce a prize. Each piece tells a story through our curious eyes. We honor the beauty, the craft and the lore. With every collection we hunger for more. So let's jingle our silver, let it ring so true. Spin the wheel of fortune, let the fun shine through. With every coin, every bar, every nugget we hold, we're a family of seekers of silver and gold. Our community strong, unbreakable, bold, a legacy timeless like silver and gold. To history and science we lift up our cheers. Together we shine through the passing of years. To the collectors, the dreamers, the friends by our side. In the glow of the treasures, our hearts open wide. So join the adventure, the stories retold. Together we thrive in the silver